Here's a net neutrality update. As of right now, I don't believe the vote has happened yet. So we're still waiting on that. But here's an update. Here's something that happened yesterday, and the Electronic Frontier Foundation reported on it. Here's the headline. When ISPs tell seniors net neutrality laws will increase their bills, they're lying and losing. Here's what happened yesterday. There were a bunch of robocalls to senior citizens telling them that the bill SB 822, the net neutrality bill here in California, would raise their phone bill by $30. Was there any truth in this? Absolutely not. Are the two things connected? Nope. They said it anyway. Why? Because they're desperate. AT&T and Verizon and the other big ISP, internet service provider companies, they deny involvement in these robocalls. Are they telling the truth? I don't know. Maybe they are. I have no idea. As of right now, there's been nothing. I'm not saying I believe them. I'm just saying I don't know one way or the other if they're telling the truth. So that happened yesterday. Here's what the article says about it. The fight to secure net neutrality protections for Californians keeps showing how far ISPs and their surrogates will go to make a buck off ending the free and open internet. The latest maneuver is a flood of deceptive robocalls targeting seniors and stating that net neutrality will raise their phone bills by $30 a month and slow down the internet. It's not just a lie, it's proof that you've successfully put them on the defensive. Now, the robocalls don't mention net neutrality by name. Now, we know none of these large companies is operating on so small margins that complying with net neutrality would force them to raise their prices. That's false. That's a falsity. Now, we've talked about net neutrality a lot on this show, so I know we're repeating stuff we've already talked about, but yeah, this idea that the internet service providers are hurting is an absolute joke. Our internet service providers make a huge profit margin. And if you look at the cities that have instituted municipal broadband across the country, we can have better internet at a more affordable price. The people in Chattanooga pay less for their internet than a lot of people do, and they get better quality internet than all of the country. Chattanooga, Tennessee, which has municipal citywide internet, has the best internet in the country, and they pay an affordable price for it. What is that telling us? The internet service providers price gouge. You don't need to price gouge the way they do. And also, they cut corners every opportunity they can. We were just talking about living wages. Comcast contracts out as much as they can so they don't have to pay their technicians a living wage. Spectrum, to my knowledge, has done something similar. And what are the results of that? Bad service. No one is held accountable. That's what when you have a bunch of third-party contractors involved, no one knows where to point the finger, and the corporatocracy wants it that way because they want to shield themselves from any blame. So this idea that their profits are going to be hurt, that's a lie. And Electronic Frontier Foundation supports that further. ISPs have never raised prices because of net neutrality, and none have dropped prices in response to its repeal. So it's not like you're going to get cheaper internet because net neutrality went away. It would be the opposite. And again, net neutrality has been repealed, but we haven't seen any prices go up. We haven't seen any big changes. That's because we're still fighting it. We're fighting it in the courts. We're fighting it at the state level. We're fighting it at the local level. So these ISPs haven't been able to unroll any packages yet. So if anyone tells you, well, look, net neutrality's gone and nothing's changed, explain to them that that's because we're fighting for them. So that was just one more act of desperation. There were some robocalls. We don't know who's behind it. If I had to take a guess, I might point my finger at your AT&Ts and your Comcast and your Verizons. However, I don't know that for sure. They're denying involvement. Whether they're telling the truth or not, verdict's still out. California stands on the brink of passing what many have called the gold standard of state-based net neutrality laws. This is getting back to the article. You've already beaten back big ISPs' attempts to gut and kill this bill once. You can do it again. If you live in the state, take the time to call your state representative today before the bill is voted on this week. Real voices, not ISP robocalls, need to be heard. Tell your California assemblyman to vote yes on SB 822. Wow. SB 822. And that's from the Electronic Frontier Foundation. So if you go to EFF.org, you can take action on your own and contact your representatives. on this because they should be voting within the next couple days. I checked this morning. They have not voted yet. The full assembly has not voted yet as of me checking about an hour ago. So we're still waiting. But they're voting on a lot of other things. Scott Wiener, I've been checking his personal Twitter account because he's been part of the assembly because he has a lot of bills in the works there. So I've been monitoring it as close to the ground floor as I can. And if any of you have any updates, please do share them.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your